always think it's about ensuring that the pharmacists have well prepared for the job they're going to go for, understand the job they're going to go for, and the organisation in which they're going to be applying for. Considering updating CVs and preparing for a cover letter in particular is quite useful. Getting over your passion for this type of role, what you could contribute to general practice and the wider NHS, I think is really important. And not being scared of some continual professional development is always a really important thing. Sprucing up your knowledge on clinical practice and clinical therapeutics is also a real beneficial element to writing a cover letter, but also in CVs, in job interviews where you may be asked clinical questions, for instance.
So, on the topic of job interviews,
yes.
How can they prepare for a job interview?
So there are a number of ways that you can potentially prepare for job interviews. The Primary Care Pharmacy Association have a really good guidance out about GPs considering employing a pharmacist as part of their practice team. And within that, there is a list of interview questions that could potentially be asked by general practitioners when you're going for interview. I always think it's about preparing for interviews and having structured answers and using examples of good clinical care that you do on a day-to-day basis that you can bring up in those interviews to showcase best practice. Examples of good medicines optimization, good person-centered approaches to healthcare, how you've communicated well to ensure better patient outcomes, and how you've worked as a team player, I think is really important.
For those pharmacists who have recently made the change from either hospital or community, what do you think the biggest change is with working with practice?
I think it's a difficult one. I think every single GP practice functions slightly differently across England. I think it's really important that pharmacists take time to get to know the practice staff and get involved in general practice every day-to-day work, look, listen, engage with the practices, and be ready to sort of adjust to different ways of clinical practice. Embrace change. You're going to be in a new role that requires you to think slightly differently and outside the box to an area which you've not really practiced in previously before. And don't be afraid to ask questions. You may not know the answers to absolutely everything, but that's the whole beauty about working in a new area. Being able to find out what to do and what not to do within that type of area will help your learning for the future.